Let's get to the radar. There are two areas that we're watching. The northernmost edge of this as it passes by Huntsville closer to Knoxville, or getting closer to Knoxville, and Chattanooga, Tennessee as well. A little bit less of a tornado threat with that one, just more in the way of some straight line wind damage as these individual cells are now kind of forming more of a line. And you can see as I stop this on the most recent frame that it's kind of bowing out a little bit there. And wherever you got the farthest point outward from the bow, which would be right around Chattanooga right now, that's where the strongest winds could be. So we need to watch for those damaging wind gusts as this line continues to quickly race off to the east. But the other area where rotation has been noted, and we do have a confirmed tornado with these storms, is now into the westernmost portion of Alabama to the south of York and to the south and west of Linden. I'll put this in motion and switch over to the individual radar site out of Jackson because that's the one that's been capturing this well. We still have a little bit of a hook echo. It doesn't look as impressive on radar right now, but that could be because it's moving farther away from the radar site in Jackson. I'll put it over to our velocity mode, and you can tell that, yeah, there's still that couplet going on there, which is telling us that there is still that rotation. Green means it's moving toward the radar site in Jackson. Red means it's moving away from the radar site in Jackson. So that's how you get that counterclockwise rotation there, pretty much right over Hinton. If you're watching from Hinton, you need to be in your safe spot right now. Riderwood, this is heading toward you. So if this holds together and still has that rotation, we need to make sure we're staying in our safe spot. In fact, that warning extending all the way toward about Pennington, and that goes until 7:45 Central Time. We'll zoom on out, kind of show you a few other areas of rotation that we're watching. One just to the north of Quitman. This one not nearly as impressive, but there's still that change of direction going on just to the south of Roy. This storm is warned not for a tornado, but for a severe thunderstorm warning with some hail and damaging wind gusts. But that's not to say that we can't see a quick spin up tornado with this cell, since we do have some of that weak broad rotation currently ongoing. The third area, just to the south and west of Bay Springs, this rotation on the latest radar image not looking quite as organized, but still, we have that rotation to the north of Taylorsville. And if I switch over to the dual pole product, what we call correlation coefficient, this is what the radar compares to radar frames, the one previous to the one current. And if it sees a lot of differences, then it's going to give it a lower value, and it's going to kind of color it a little bit differently. Notice how there's a lot of pink showing up here. If you see areas of orange or yellow, that tells you that the radar is picking up on something that might not be rain. It's showing a lot of differences, and whenever you have a tornado, that could be debris. So notice we have a little bit of that going on just to the north of Taylorsville. So that could tell us that there is a tornado, but it's still not confirmed just yet. We're going to continue to watch this cell, though, and if we get any reports of that, of course, we will be sure to pass that along. We'll switch back over to the national radar, and I'm going to loop this again. And right along that frontal boundary, you can kind of see how we've got that moisture streaming northward out ahead of it. It's all that warm, moist air coming from the Gulf of Mexico, helping to fuel the instability of these storms. Behind it, lots of colder air rushing on in, and it's that clash of air masses along that frontal boundary that is leading to all of this active weather. And we've had quite a bit of reports already in terms of all of that severe weather, and we're going to need to watch out even as we head a little bit beyond midnight for some more severe storms.